So years ago, well, it was 2008, working at a gun counter. My buddy Dan told me about going gopher hunting with his wife, and they're shooting gophers. A grizzly bear come trotting out of a thicket about 90 yards out, coming to them. It was conditioned to come to the sound of gunfire, get the gut pile or the whole animal if it got there soon enough. So Dan says, "Oh my God, it's a grizzly." He says, "Get out of here!" And the thing saw him, got a better bearing on him, came straight for him, trotting to him. Dan shot in front of it, kicked dirt on it, told his wife to go for the truck. He's not back there in 3 minutes, go for help. It was 2003. And anyway, he made it back to the truck, but this bear shadowed him all the way. He backed through the creek, got wet. Dan, made it back to the truck, got to town, called Fish and Game, told them they had a problem, bear condition, come to sound of gunfire. And they said, "Yeah, we know about it. We need to find out where it is." Well, they didn't do anything about it. So I got him telling me the story an extra 2 or 3 times. He says, "I'll take you up there sometime." So, oh gosh, I don't know, 2012, 2013, he takes me up there the first time. We go up there, and I'm telling him, "Man, I hope Fluffy's, I hope we don't see Fluffy today." And he said, "Well, let's see. Yeah, it was 2011, because he said the bear, it was 8 years ago, he's probably dead." I said, "Yeah, or that grizzly's really big and has his 2 sons with him." So we step out of my car in the pouring rain. We got our 44 Magnums on, and I pull my little 22 Remington rifle out of the gun case. Dan pulls his rifle out of his gun case, and it's a 9-shot old Marlin lever action 45-70 Buffalo gun. I said, "Nice gopher gun." He said, "Thank you." Walked off into the rain. And so I was really glad he had that 45-70, with him. So we went out and had a great time, but we didn't see Fluffy. So fast forward, we went out there a couple of weeks later, and then we went out there June 16th, day after bear season was over. And we have a black bear season here in Montana. I don't hunt bears, but I like to watch them from a safe distance. So anyway, we're out there, and now it's a hot sunny day, and we're shooting gophers and having fun. And Dan just keeps going. He can go around the next bend, go around the next. So we get to this one spot, and he sees this gopher out in this huge meadow on top of about a 3.5-foot diameter stump. He says, "I want to shoot that gopher." I said, "All right." So I drop off down in that meadow on one side of a little knob, and I think, oh my gosh, I get down behind this little pine tree about 6 feet tall, the gopher's gone. But Dan has stopped the march, so I'm drinking water, eating crackers, eating candy bars, and I heard this whoa. I thought, ooh, that's a bear. I said, no. My mind didn't want it to be a bear. I said, no, that's a moose bellowing or something. And then I heard Dan say, "Guard!" I said, oh, cracky. Dan heard it too. I said, "Yo," he said, "get up here." So I go back up the knob, and he's standing there, and from where he's standing, you can see this big old 400-pound black bear out there. He's about 100 yards out in that meadow, and he's just flipping over rocks and eating the bugs out from under him and everything. And I've got on full camo and a white straw cowboy hat. Dan's got on a black and white railroad shirt and blue jeans. And I'm thinking, well, the bear's 100 yards away. Surely he can see us. And I was just relieved that it's a black bear. It's not a grizzly. So anyway, I said, oh man, let's go right down to the edge of this meadow. I want to get some pictures of him. Dan said, I don't know, man. I don't know if we ought to go down, and we were only like, 20, 30 feet up on this little knob. I just want to go down there so I didn't have to take a picture through these trees. And I said, oh, come on, it'll be all right. That's a black bear, And so we got down there. I took a few pictures of him and everything. And that bear, he laid down in a water hole that we couldn't even see. He was moving back and forth out there, 100 yards, 150 yards, flipping over rocks. He lies down in this water hole on his back like a man with water up to his neck, Stood up, slick as a seal now, solid black, shiny bear. Went over to this broke off tree, about 5 foot post, and starts rubbing his back on it like a man. Dan and I are just trading his Swarovski binoculars back and forth, looking at it. And anyway, we just keep watching this bear, keep watching it. And it kind of starts walking away from us, like it's quartering away to the left, and it's getting close to the timber. And we're on this gated logging road system, and it's going to kind of go back around that way if we keep walking that way. I said, Dan, let's yell at that bear and make sure it'll run, because I don't want to run into it up there in the thick woods. Make sure it'll run. And he said, Kirk, I hadn't had much luck getting bears to run up here the last 8 years or so. I said, yeah, but it's a black bear. Everybody been shooting at him. Everybody and their brother been shooting at him, until yesterday. Dan says, I don't know. I said, yeah, man. Let's yell at him and just make sure he'll run from us before he gets in that timber. And Dan says, I had a dream last night. I said, what? What do you mean you had a dream last night? He says, you're going to think I'm crazy for telling you this, but he said, I had a dream last night that you and I get charged by a bear. You're standing on my right. We get charged by a bear, and I go to pull my .44 Magnum, he says, and it gets hung up in my shirt tail. I said, what happened? He says, I don't know. I woke up. I said, oh, man. He said, and my mother used to have kind of premonition dreams. I said, did any of them come true? And he said, yeah. I said, man, I keep an open mind about this kind of stuff. I said, okay. He said, well, don't stand on my right then. So I ran around, got on his left side, dumped my Alice pack off my shoulders, started getting some more .44 Magnum ammo out of it. I only had 2 rounds in my left front pocket, 5 in my old model Ruger 44 Super Blackhawk. So I get some more .44 mag cartridges out, and Dan's standing there, and I said, come on, man, this is a black bear. He's going to run from us. Let's just yell at him and make sure he'll run from us. He says, I don't know, man. He says, once we yell at him, we're committed. And so finally Dan says, well, you do whatever you want to do. I said, he's going to run from us. Oh, let's just yell at him, make sure before he gets in that timber. And that bear is only about 15 yards from getting into the forest now. He's out there about 150 yards away and quartering away from us to the left. And so I yelled, get out of here, bear! And that bear just stopped, looked over his left shoulder like, don't make me come over, boys. And all I remember is like a Bugs Bunny cartoon dry gulp that I took. And I hear Dan to my right say, he ain't running. I said, yeah, I know it. And so anyway, he didn't run. He stood there, it seemed like 30 minutes, but it was probably 7 or 8 seconds. He just stood there, stopped mid-stride, looking over his left shoulder at us, and then he looked away and walked off into the woods. I said, my gosh, what's the matter with that bear? Didn't he see us standing here? I got on a white hat, you got on blue jeans and a black and white shirt. What's the matter with him? Dan says, I don't think he cares that we're here. I think this is his meadow, and he doesn't care. 400-pound black bear. I got a picture of him, still photo. I don't know if I can get it on here, but anyway, we had a blast. We went way, way around to where he was headed. We backtracked on this gated road system, went way back around, and then wound up running into more sign from him later on. Went up on top of a ridge and found fresh rocks that he'd flipped over, big rocks. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're gonna holler at you later.